It's some 34 minutes after 6. Hello there. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, this is the AM show. You missed the news with Roland Walker, but you certainly made it in good time. This is the review segment where we review the newspapers. We'll touch base with myjoyonline.com and do the BBC as well. And I am joined by Enim Ado this morning. It's an all-girls affair.
Good morning, we're showing dynamism and activism.
Yes.
Taking over your airways. Good morning. It's great to be here again.
Yeah. You're good?
Yes, I'm awesome.
Nice.
This morning. Yourself?
Nice. I'm doing well.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go through the headlines as we have them.
All right. Yeah. So I have the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, and the Daily Dispatch. So I'm starting with the Ghanaian Times, and I think this headline is on almost all of the papers. Dramatic: police rescue 2 Canadian ladies and arrest 8 suspected kidnappers. No report from Parliament on annual financial reports, that's according to the Auditor General. Limited voters registration takes off June 17th. Ofosu Ampofo expected to report to CID today. Now the Cocoa Confab have agreed on $2,600 floor price, but the rest of that story inside the Ghanaian Times. On the back page, the new Upper West Regional Hospital is 99% complete and will be handed over to the region very soon. And cylinder recirculation project begins in October.
Let's continue with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Here we go with what's on the front page of the Daily Graphic today. Kidnapping of 2 Canadians, 8 arrested. And when I saw this picture yesterday, I thought, okay, this is not it. But it turned out, yes, it is.
It is, yes.
So what was it? Where they were posing for the cameras, including the security personnel? You know, like, yeah. All right, also on the front page, Ghana could have female leaders soon, according to the president. A lot has changed since Canada, right? ADB hands over check for 2018 Best Farmer is also another story in the papers today, and the countdown is on. It's 8 days to AFCON, but the Women's World Cup is still ongoing. Yesterday, Nigeria made us proud. They face France next. We'll see how that goes. Center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. See, important national resource. Let's protect it. Is Patricia Apieje making that call? She's Deputy Minister of Environment, Science and Technology. Details of that in the center spread of the paper. Also, redefine cylinder ownership policy under recirculation module. That's a call by Amakomuhene. Details of that in the paper. Let's look at what's on the back page now. Ghana loses $81 million to illegal fishing practices, according to a study. It's a study conducted by Hen Mpoano and Environmental Justice Foundation, both NGOs. Also, Nandom District attains open defecation-free status, and we'll say hooray to that. Seriously, this is 2019. Yeah.
Okay, well, on the front page of the Daily Guide, we got them. 8 Canadian kidnappers scrapped. Takoradi girls abductor in court. And, well, the back page is a lot of football. So for the football fans, the back page of the Daily Guide will be yours. Other interesting things inside the Daily Guide. You know, the National Science and Maths quiz was launched 2 days ago. And we'll be carrying that. Yeah. It starts on Monday.
Yes.
So pretty exciting. Tune in to JoyNews for all the details on that one.
Yeah, and on the AM show every morning, we have our National Science and Maths quiz moment. So today we'll bring you something. Look forward to it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the Daily Statesman newspaper, front page of the Daily Statesman. You are safe. Government assures international community. Comes with a picture of Kandapa, National Security Minister. Yesterday, there was a press briefing. Well, we brought you a lot of details in our news, but the conversation on the side is the fact that we had all these security people there at the press conference, but it was only the information minister who spoke and answered all the questions. People are asking why, really. World Bank louts Ghana on financial sector cleanup. Good news for cocoa farmers. Stakeholders agree $2,600 floor price, and we've made headlines internationally with this conversation between Ghana and La Côte d'Ivoire. When they come together, they're very powerful because we produce the highest gold and we're trying to be like an OPEC where we control the prices, but we'll see if the world market will begin to feel the effect of that.
I think that they should, if we can stay united, because I mean there's always power in unity, isn't there? You know, and if we have the highest production rate, then really there's no reason why anybody else should be dictating prices.
Absolutely.
But then I understand that there's so much more to the dynamic of that than than that. But on
especially when we are only exporting the raw beans.
Exactly. On the back page of the Daily Dispatch, Joy FM documentary exposes how 81 million Ghana cedi road projects increased to 395 Ghana cedis after completion. So that's the Hotline documentary about that. When we start to talk, I'll bring more on that story, because that's an interesting one. On the front page of the Daily Dispatch, details of research on performance of MPs. That was also a very interesting story. I think the education minister who topped. Yes, and it's funny because you know the education minister hasn't actually been speaking.
Yes.
But all the other ministers have been touting how good free SHS is. And so somehow it seems to have reflected on him, even though we haven't heard much from him. But yeah, there's more of that in the Daily Dispatch. Show how our work incites the public against you, University of Ghana researchers. And we also know that from that story, it was then said that the work that had been done in grading the MPs was then inciting the public against the members of
I think Parliament got it all wrong.
I know, right?
Yeah. What's research about, really?
Right, it's really just bringing things to light. NDC and Professor Azar, you know, when we made this statement, he was like, oh, well, it wouldn't be the first time that Parliament has gotten something wrong anyway. So, yeah, I couldn't let that go. NDC on Ofosu Ampofo's arrest. Russia targets 13 African countries to exert influence. And that Hotline story also inside the Daily Dispatch. That's it for me.
Okay, let's do the Business Finder, the Finder newspaper that turns business on Thursdays. This is on cocoa, $2,600 fixed as minimum price per ton from next season. On mining, no energy challenges. That's according to the minister. NPA to pilot cylinder recirculation module in Obuasi and Kwa Bibrim. The full story is on page 11. There's a summary of the market on the front page as well. That will be it for what's on the front page of the Finder newspaper. You have a last paper?
No, I don't.
Okay, so let's finish off then with the Custodian. That's the last paper. Canadian girls rescued, 8 kidnappers nabbed, technical and vocational skills to promote Ghana's development. Okay, according to Deputy Minister, Ekufado receives highest honor from Guyana. Okwe fights human trafficking and forced labor. Details of that, page 2 in the Custodian. Back page, Osafo Mafo consults development partners on Ghana Beyond Aid. Interesting. He hasn't come back on his comment, right? But he's talking about... and then also with the Ghana Beyond Aid, what happened to the picture that did we borrow or we stole?
The Kenyan,
yeah. What happened to it? The letter of apology and all that. Okay, that's it for the Custodian. What story interests you? Like, what do you want to feast on right now?
This one, the Joy FM documentary. I'm not sure when JoyNews. I think JoyNews did it on
Monday.
On Monday, and the Super Morning Show. We're doing it this morning, and it's very interesting because it talks about how we give our projects and then we delay and we stall, and so then the cost of the original projects then goes up. So I mean, some of the examples. Here are, okay, the first one is in 2011, the government awarded the rehabilitation of the Breman UGC and Sepedote Main Road to Kofi Job Company Limited. The original contract sum was 4.9 million cedis. By the time the project was completed in 2014, it was 8.7 million. So there was a 77% increase in the project cost. In 2012, another company, original was 3.3 million. By the time they were finished, it was 4.8 million. Another one was the one to First Sky Limited in 2014. And PIAC says that the initial contract sum of 30.8 million had been revised to 35.4 million cedis, mainly due to delays in completing the projects. But this completed project has developed several potholes barely 3 years after its completion. And the point is that it's not just one, place or one issue. It seems to be happening over time. We're taking a very long time to complete projects. And it only makes sense, because if you buy cement at, let's say, 5 cedis today, and you don't expect that in 2 years you're going to buy it at 5 cedis, so it's about, doing things quickly, but it's also about closing that gap so that we can,
It sounds like a strategy.
Money. It sounds like a very good strategy. Sounds like
just keep delaying it. But the point is, we spend so much and we don't even get quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because 3 years later, the road is bad. I mean, there are lots of instances here. You can catch it on the Super Morning Show this morning, or when it shows again on JoyNews, or on the back page of the Daily Dispatch. But we do this a lot.
Yeah. There's this story about the president saying that Ghana could have first female leader soon. I thought we share a bit of it. It's on page 16. This is the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says President Akufo-Addo has said he's convinced that Ghana will very soon have a female president. He said aside from the appointment of more women into many and critical positions in his administration and offices of state, Ghana was working to ensure that very soon half of all appointments in the country would be given to women.
When did he say this?
Well, he was answering questions from some Guyanese Africans and people of African ancestry at a debate held for Ghana's delegation at Georgetown, the capital of Guyana.
I see. And this was after Canada.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So
what you think this is like? Some damage control?
I think it's damage control. I definitely think it's somebody's like, look, you need to. The thing is, it'll be interesting to see if it translates into. But Mama V, let's be fair. So let me give you a typical example. When this thing happened with the president of Canada, right? The next day, we're trying to have a conversation on what had happened. And I was tasked with finding women to come and talk. And this is where I feel like sometimes we let ourselves down as women. Nobody wanted to talk. I called so many people.
For or against? Or just to share opinion?
To share their opinion.
Okay, because personally, I really don't see where he went wrong with the comment. I think it's the platform and where he was. But as a Ghanaian receiving the message, I don't disagree. I know you disagree strongly, but I'm surprised you couldn't find people to speak.
No, but I don't necessarily disagree with what he said, because I do think that sometimes we tend to take a back seat. We tend to not want to talk about the hard issues. We tend to, I do it on the Super Morning Show sometimes. When the boys are having a hard conversation and they're arguing, a lot of times I'll just back away because I'm like, But then I realize that, it's these baby steps, it's these little things that make a difference. It's insisting, that your voice is as worthy, that you have something to say. But there's also, Mama V, the thing is that we have to, and I'm sorry, I'm going to quote Scandal, even though it's just like a soap opera. But Olivia Pope's father always told her, you have to be twice as good, just to be half as seen, even, And so as a woman, you need to come to the table with something more. So instead of, focusing on the brouhaha of the whole thing, I think we need to focus on building our capacity, so that we can talk the talk and walk the walk.
I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean? So that's the challenge for me. And I guess I'm also pleading that when we do call you, the women, come and talk to us,
I get the same thing. Why do we have to? Because, and it's not even a man calling you, it's a woman. Well, and I have people tell me, oh, I have to prepare breakfast for the kids and this. And it's just as if you're talking to somebody who also doesn't have children.
Exactly. Yeah, right?
Like, yeah.
And also just, just being heard. I think that we have a responsibility to do that. But nonetheless, we would like the president to pass the affirmative action bill as speedily and wonderfully as he has done the RTI.
So this is what I was thinking. The 3 women who came out at that press conference, they're ministers of state, but they're also in parliament. I thought that for us to remember even the women in parliament and pinpoint and say, yes, this is what they did. They've been doing something. Why don't they push for that? They're in parliament. They're closer to the government. Why don't they put in that pressure so that we see this bill passed?
Which has been running for, over what, 20 years?
Instead of support the fact that there's no activism and dynamism, how about the small women we have in parliament? What kind of okay, it's not
activism.
Coming. Thank you. And dynamism, are we saying from them?
In your English this morning. But Mama V, the other thing too, that came to mind when we talked about this story, is you remember how Parliament treated Lydia Alhassan.
Yeah.
And it's so indicative of how we treat. Because I'm sorry if I'm going to
wait, hang on. Wasn't that more of politics, the NDC NPP thing?
I mean, but
was it
but
simply
the thing is,
because she's a woman?
But you also remember that I don't know if they would have done that to a man. I don't think that if a man's girlfriend had died and she was taken and he was taking her seat, he would be heckled and called the things that she was called. And then especially to have women join into that.
Yeah.
Because what we do is that in politics, and a lot of women that I've spoken to will tell you that politics is too dirty and we don't want to get into it because when it comes to women, we mix the personal life of a woman with her political life. And we don't do the same for men. I mean, we know of men in politics who have wives and girlfriends and baby mamas, and it's never
laptops.
Exactly. It's never used as a reason why they are insulted on that level or a reason why they're not good enough.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that double standard, and we women perpetrate that. What a woman chooses to do in her private life is her private life.
Yeah.
If she's coming for it and she's decided that she's going to be in politics, I don't think that she should be insulted for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
So the women in Parliament also need to, you know, stand firm on that and fight.
You posted the comments, and again back to Parliament because they're women, they're very strong women. We know them as strong women, but we're also not feeling your activism and your dynamism, women in Parliament today. You posted there was a post on a member of Parliament, no, that's Miss Rollins.
Yes, I actually shared it from another friend's page, and it was, she had posted something about work that was being done in Kole Klote, and all the comments were, oh, go and find a husband, you have children without a husband, you have this, and I looked at it and I was like, what does this have to do with what she is doing as a member of Parliament for her area? She's one of the women who is, you know, very outspoken, and I'm not partial because she went to Wesley Girls, even though I am a little. I had to put that in there. You know, but we do this, and there were women in that comment section saying, oh, go and find a husband and leave us alone. As if the finding of a husband suddenly then elevates you to a certain legendary, you know, position. I don't get it.
And I want women in Parliament to come through on such occasions. For their colleagues and for other women.
Speak up in the little things.
Yeah. There's a very disturbing story, just a little bit of it, and then if you have any other, otherwise we'll go to my journal. There's a story of, they said the otherwise quiet Gomo Boase community in the Gomoa Central District in the Central Region was last Monday afternoon thrown into a state of disbelief and shock when a 27-year-old graduate of the University of Cape Coast slashed his cousin's throats with a machete. The suspect, identified as James Annan, who completed his undergraduate studies in 2017, allegedly slashed the throat of Michael Butchie, 21, who just completed his undergraduate studies at the University of Education, Winneba, and is expected to graduate next month. After the incident, Butcher was quickly rushed to the Swedro Government Hospital by some family members and eyewitnesses, but he was pronounced dead on arrival. The rest of the story, really, really sad indeed, is on page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Very sad.
Yeah, it
is.
Very,
very sad. So online, or do we have time? 1 minute for this story.
Please go
ahead.
The
police have arrested 40 motor riders for traffic offences. Oh, motor riders, how we love you.
I don't
how we love you not. I mean, I was being sarcastic, but 40 motor riders were on Tuesday arrested by the police for various offences in the Accra metropolis. And kudos to the police. I mean, if you could arrest 40 every day, it would be amazing, because the indiscipline of motor riders on the Accra roads. You know, when you're driving, you're having to be mindful of passengers, mindful of other cars who are staying within the laws, and then Okada, who just, whether it's red or green, yellow, blue, whatever it is, whether it's stop, whether it's go, they are just constantly weaving in and out. And I mean, I've had two, what's the word?
Close shaves?
Yes, with motor ride. There was one time I actually hit one because I was coming out of the road and the cars had stopped to give me way, but he decided that even though the cars had stopped, he was still gonna come. So I hit him with the side of my car. He fell off. He wasn't hurt. And I came out. So what I did to him, I mean, he was coming to have a go at me. Oh, and I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Not when you were totally wrong.
I completely blasted the poor boy. He's now my tailor. But
so
yes.
you became friends
We
afterwards.
became friends,
I hope he
yes.
doesn't repeat what he did to
No,
you.
I think I terrified
I'm
him
excited
enough.
about the 40 arrests. However, I'm asking the question, what do they do with them when they arrest them? Because
That's
we see so many of them.
So little prosecutions. But let's not. It's baby steps.
Okay. All right. Let's do myjoyonline.com with the rest of the time that we have. And then we can maybe look at the BBC, possibly. EC sets... Can you see? Would you want to?
No,
okay.
I can't.
So spreading fear and panic. This is Elizabeth Ohene writing on this subject. It will be a good read. Please go to myjoyonline.com and read it. Meets the man educating girls in menstrual hygiene. Can we say big ups to our own Israel Lai because he's an ambassador. He does this so well. EC sets new dates for limited voters registration exercise. No external assets involved in Canadian girls' rescue, according to Information Minister. Yes, please.
It's amazing, you know, because everybody who is talking about this story, there's a but after the everything. Oh, the Canadian girls have been rescued, but what about the Takoradi girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we really need that issue resolved, you know. And I was listening to Kojo Ponkrumah, you know, talk about the fact that Ghana is still safe, you know, and you know, our terrorism, whatever it is, you know, all of that was fine. But I really wasn't feeling that way at all.
And I think it's not just you, a good number of Ghanaians.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're beginning to think, I mean, it's just natural, okay, because these are foreigners. That's why we put in so much efforts. But you want to begin to go back. What kind of effort did we even put into finding these girls who've gone missing?
Girls, exactly.
From the very beginning.
And for us who worked closely with the families, you hear the stories, you see the lapses, you see when more could have been done, and it's pretty heartbreaking. So bring back our Takoradi girls.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Let's go back to myjoyonline.com. Let's finish off. There are some photos of alleged kidnappers.
The photo shoot.
Oh yeah, this is the famous photo shoot. Charlie, okay, well, it is only Ghana that I know, but I'm not sure I see this when it happens, and we watch it on BBC and CNN. That's the people who did the rescue, together with the
like the kidnappers, have posed for it to photo
the suspects. The corporate, they take care. Oh, interesting. All right. You can go to my Online and go and explore. Second Nigerian suspect in Takoradi girls kidnap remanded. She wants women to have good sex, so she started a website. You've tried that?
Long story short, I'm looking forward to some excitingly toe-curling and back-arching orgasmic sexual experiences this year.
So I take it that you haven't explored this feature?
No, I haven't. I haven't actually seen it, but I'm going to go and look at it right after we finish and find out what it is that she's teaching on her website.
Yeah. Yes. I will as well. We all need it, don't we? Okay, so photos. 2019 National Science and Maths Quiz launched. If you missed it, you can catch up. Kidnapped Canadians, victims held under unsanitary conditions. And Ohim Interior brought us details of the place, the exact place where the girls, the women were kept in our news. But you can go to myjoyonline.com and catch up. More stories on myjoyonline.com. There's this one. If these 9 things happen during intimacy, your relationship may be toxic. Ooh, so check it out. Go to myjoyonline.com. Yeah. All right. Let's do the BBC if we can. Maybe a minute or so. Okay, we don't have time for that. Anymore. That's the end of the review.
Yes,
let's do this. Let's do this
again.
Let's take this away from the boys.
From the men, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah. Show the president some activism and dynamism, and perhaps be the future leaders of Ghana. How about that?
Yeah, that would be good.
See you.
You could be the president.
Government.
I could be I could be the head of the economic management team.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
That would be awesome.
That's it. We have it.
So we're taking applications for vice presidents, ministers, because we'll be having an all-female government one of these days. God willing.
Girl power, the activism and the dynamism here on the AM show. Stay with us. We'll bring you some sports updates with the ongoing Women's World Cup. Also, countdown to AFCON 2019. We've got 8 more days. Lots of things to talk about when Benedict joins us. Stay with us.